Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the match preview, Brentford versus Everton. A must-win, absolute must-win for the Toffees. It is though, isn't it?
It's really a must get something out of. That's what I would say. 100% must get something out of. A win, yes, but do not lose the game, for God's sake. Got to keep putting points on the board at this stage while we're struggling, definitely. And it'll be a tough game.
No, it will be a tough game because obviously the squad is absolutely devastated.
Yeah.
No Richarlison, obviously, due suspension. I'm gonna have to wait and see. You know, even if we get players back, they're not going to be fully up to it. No. Brentford are having their own struggles at the moment, so they'll be desperate for the point, and they'll see this as a big opportunity to get points on the board this week. They're scoring goals. I think that's a bit of a difference. They can put the ball in the back of the net. It's just stopping the ball going in. I suppose we've just got to be positive. We've got to go down. We've got to look at this game. You know, we've got a tough looking fixture list, obviously, in the next few weeks, and it comes thick and fast, and that makes you, certainly as a fan, look at the situation as in you can't see the wood for the trees at the moment. Really, obviously, coming into December, really tough spell of games, and you look at this one and think this is something, this is a game that we must get something out of. Because effectively what we need now is a point a game for the rest of the season. I know that's just the base level of making sure that we finish in a not even a respectable spot, just in a spot that's not obviously in the but that's the point though. It's fine sitting here going it's all going to be all right, but we have to start picking up points. Because it's not. You can very quickly find yourself being in a position where you start running out of games effectively to have any kind of promising decent season. You've got to have a baseline.
I agree with that.
But the point being is the squad is on its arse, and there's a lot of games coming up, and we've got to start picking up points. Yeah. And it's not even a case of looking at going, well, you forget about this game, you forget about that game. Everyone have got to start picking up points. They've got to start getting some kind of confidence. They've got to start getting some kind of way of playing that creates opportunities. That's what we haven't seen. We haven't seen. And what you've got to do as well is we've got to stop. We've got to stop it becoming the thing that defines us as well. We've got to become a team that are around. If we stay around where we are now, by picking up points, then you're looking and going, right, that's something to maybe in the second half of the season to build on, to then maybe try and start pushing up the league. What you can't do is get sucked into the lower part of the table. So then all you're doing is then for the rest of the season just trying to get away from there and try and getting into mid-table. So this is a hugely important game for confidence, for fans to get some positivity, for the manager to look at and say, right, yeah, see, you can go and pick up points. Okay, so it's week 13 of Ultimate Fan. We are going to pick our teams now. Don't forget there's a prize pot of £5,000 this week. And also a new feature of the game is now you can now set up your own little mini leagues. We've got a Toffee TV one going on there. You'll find out all the details on our Patreon and our Discord if you want to be in our Toffee TV league. So you can now set them up to play. Let's check out our teams for this week. Right, wasn't a great week for me last week. So Jamie Vardy, who's been my captain, he's gonna have to come out because he's just not good enough. Romelu Lukaku may be back for Chelsea. I'm taking the risk playing, in a big game this weekend. So he's going to come in for Jamie Vardy. Also, Tielemans is going to come out as well. I'm going to replace him with Saka. I've also got Bruno Fernandes. He's coming out the side as well. Phil Foden is going back into the team.
Mine is Chelsea also, was my team. They've been my team for a while. I've got Van Dijk and Alexander-Arnold. In the defence, midfield, I've got Kai Havertz and N'Golo Kante.
Oof.
I've got to make a change up front though. I've got Sadio Mane and I've got Richarlison, but Richarlison suspended.
Of course.
So I'm going to go with Riyad Mahrez.
Ooh,
That's what I've gone with. That's my team for this week.
There you go. All my players are now gold cards, by the way, in the side.
Yeah,
but there's plenty players out there from the free pack that will do well for you. There's little stars for each side, of course. People like Jay Adams, the Southampton. People like that. They're all doing their own little thing.
They're doing better than me.
Yeah.
Well better than me.
So make sure to check that out. Base pack every Tuesday. You get your pack every Tuesday, or you've got your silver option for $2.99, or you've got your gold option for $4.99 a month. Make sure you check them out. Make sure to click the link in the description. There's loads of perks on offer as well, like free vouchers for Uber Eats and things like that. And as I said, now you can set up your own little mini leagues as well. So get your mates involved. Make it a little competitive thing between your mates. And you know, there's chances to win free cards as well from those leagues. So get involved in that. The links are in the description. So make sure you check them out with £5,000 prize pot this week to win.
Yeah, absolutely. And with 2 points ahead of them. So, you know, if they beat us, they're above us from that. It's, at the moment, they're a rival, aren't they? Because there's only 2 points between us. So that's why I said before, it is a must win, but it's definitely a must. It's definitely a must not lose. You know, we've lost games recently that we shouldn't have done. Sunday wasn't one of them, but, you know, other games have been where we've lost. The squad is decimated at the moment, but hopefully Yerry Mina is available. The Corey we don't know anything about at the moment. But no matter who's available, you've got to go out and battle and scrap for everything. Be organised. This isn't a game where you've got to sit on the edge of your own box and try to hang on like last Sunday was. This is a game. We've lost Amari Gray, who's a huge player for us. Richarlison, huge player for us. But whoever comes in, and if it is Rondon or Ellis Sims, if they give him a go, I mean, let's be honest, it's more, he's going to play Rondon, isn't he? Barring any injury. He's got to actually look like a footballer this week and not just stand still. He's got to put himself about. You know, and the manager, I think, needs to be saying to him, run yourself ragged for 50 odd minutes and then we'll take you off. Because you've got to give the team something. Don't play.
You've got to be aggressive.
But don't play that thing of like, I'll just get through it to play the 90 minutes. You're no good to anyone. I'd rather him go out, throw everything he had at it and be on his knees after 50 minutes and you take him off. And then put Sims on or something and try to do it that way than to just be conservative with what he's doing. He's got to go up there if he's playing and show the Evertonians who are making that trip and everyone watching at home that he's worthy of wearing the shirt that day. You know, whether he's worthy of wearing the shirt long term is a different argument. But on Sunday, we need him because he's been here for 2 months now. If he's not fit, he's never going to get fit. So he's got to go out, battle, scrap and fight for everything on Sunday and give us a starting point.
Yeah.
Even if it's keeping the ball to bring other people into the game. It's going to be difficult. The front three are looking like it's going to be a Wobie maybe. Anthony Gordon. You know, I've seen a lot of people saying throw Lewis Dobbin in and go straight for it. I mean, could he do any worse? I don't know. He's done all right in the 23s. It might be a bit too soon for him, but we have got to. What I find, what might be really interesting in this one is how the manager lines up. He may change the formation for this one due to personnel. If Mina comes back, he may play them three because Brentford play three at the back.
Yeah.
He might match them up and go with the three centre backs and have Coleman a bit higher up where he can do a bit more offensively because he can't go up and down. Dean on the other side.
Well, we're gonna have
and
to
then you'd have three in midfield, wouldn't you?
Gray has been our outball, hasn't he, for the entire season, really.
And he's not there.
And he's not there, so they're gonna have to come up with might be you know, he does do something like that and starts having Dean, because Dean's been really restricted, hasn't he? Let's be honest, and it's been done on purpose.
But if you've got Rondon, you want Dean crossing it.
Yeah, but we're gonna have to come up with something. I don't think Iwobi clearly isn't the answer.
No.
And if he is the answer, I don't know what the question is.
Who shouldn't play?
Who shouldn't Everton have bought for a ridiculous amount of money from Arsenal? No, so it's just play. Listen, what has to happen on Sunday is, as a collective, players have to step up and say, I'm going to do my job today. I'm going to win my battle today. You know, Manchester City wasn't the best example of that. It's not the best place to, you know, I do find fault with the first goal. I think when you look at it, Cancelo has 3 touches before he plays the pass. Why isn't someone getting over to him? The second one, Alan trying to play a clever ball around the edge of the box when you really should have just tried to get it as far down the pitch as you can.
Delph should have won the tackle.
You know, we should be tougher. We should be tougher as a team. Things like kicking the ball out for the opposition when players are throwing themselves around shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
You know, we have to be tougher and more savvy as a side and say, do you know what? You're getting nothing off us. If you score a goal, you have to really deserve that goal. And I think that's one of the things you saw a little bit too much respect on Sunday. We should go back to the Spurs game. Actually, certainly in that second half, I thought we grew as a side, and we, you know, certainly after the penalty incident, we weren't prepared to give Spurs anything. And there was fight and there was spirit, and it came from the crowd as well. And I think if you could harness a little bit of that, of like, you know, we're not going to concede today. You feel that against Spurs, it was like, we're not conceding, we're not losing this game. And I think that has to come out in more games of we're not losing this game. And it might be a case of like, we're not losing this game and we'll try and take the draw. And then that leads to, well, actually, if we nick one, if we can get one off a set piece, you know, then we can nick the game. And that's what, listen, it's funny. You go back to like 4 years ago now, when like Allardyce came in, and that was his mantra of like, you don't, I know he had a good start, but it was like, you don't throw away points, you stay in games, you make it hard to be beaten, you know. And I think we have to start getting that mantra again, to start picking up points. Like you said before, don't lose the game. Pick up a point. Who's to say, listen, it's the beginning of a tough week, but who's to say that, you know, we could get 5 points out of that week? You know, Arsenal and Liverpool obviously will be really tough, but they're both at home. We could pick up 5 points in that, and then suddenly you pick up 5 points. Things just look a little bit different. Yeah. And you've just played a couple of tough home games that you were looking at thinking, oh God, if you pick up 5 points because you have decided, you know, again, I go back to the Liverpool game when we drew 0-0, you know, when they were trying to win the league, and that season, and it was like, we're not losing this game. We're throwing our body on the line. We're going to make sure we win our little battles. And I think we've got to start getting back to that. If it's not what everyone wants to see, but what we also don't want to see is limp performances where people just, you can see the goal and people do the old, you know, the old putting the shirt on the face or throwing their hands up in the air, but not actually pointing at someone going, what are you doing? How are you, why didn't you stop that? And I think that has to start coming out, because that, at least if you get that, fans can turn around and go, they're trying. Because I think at the moment, listen, I know we've got loads of injuries and now obviously suspensions are playing a part, but that doesn't stop people from doing their jobs on the pitch. That doesn't stop people saying, I'm winning that 50-50. And I think fans would look at people and go, I'm prepared to give you a little bit more credit. It's why, like, you know, in the last few weeks, Anthony Gordon, people have gone, well, he's having a go at least. Whereas you look at some other people and they're not, they wonder why they're not being clapped off the pitch, because you're not having a go. You're not having a go. It's all faux. You know, it's not real. You know, you look at someone like a Wobie, and you look at him and go, You're not doing anything, lad. You wonder why you're permanently on the bench, because you're not doing anything to affect it. You know, Delph had a couple of games in there against Manchester City. It's the old, nah, I'm not going to have a go against these. These are my bread and butter when I finish playing. And I think you've got to get to that level, haven't you? You've got to get that level, that base level where you can go, well, at least players are having a go and are really trying for the side and don't want to concede goals. And if you get there, then you can. That's something to build off. And I think, you know, and if you can get that and you're not losing a game, you know, if Everton stop losing games, then suddenly it's like, well, you've made defeats into draws, and then it's about making draws into wins. And there's when we do get our players back, those players coming to a side that is in a position to kick off from. What you don't want is those players coming back and being like, is this all on us now to take this team forward?
I think the interesting thing is that stop losing. That's the first thing. Be difficult to score against, and then teams have to work doubly hard, and then gaps appear. Okay, Sunday we're not going to have our counter-attacking people who we need, like Gray and Richarlison, so we do have to come up with a different way of playing, and it could be the three at the back, could be pushing Dean and Coleman higher. It could be having Alan, Delph and Townsend in the middle as the three, and then Rondon.
I think I'd rather have Alf.
I was, yeah. Alf Stewart. Rondon, and then is it Anthony Gordon playing off him? Is it Anthony Gordon being a little bit more central, running, driving at them, or floating around in a 10 almost? Or do you go with Ellis Sims and go 2 up?
Well, I was going to say to you, do you think there's been talk this week that...
and don't forget, Sims only played 45 minutes.
Yeah. Well, there's been talk this week that Marcel Brands wants, or has asked, for the under-23s to play the same style as what the first team. I mean, why that's only happening now is beyond me. But do you think if that is true, that is a clear sign that they are looking at more of those players now? Sims, Dobbin, and Yango, and then you've got the likes of Branthwaite at the back. There's the other kid in centre midfield as well, isn't it? Warrington, who's getting talked about. I'm not saying he's going to come in, but what I mean is that you have to start looking at that, don't you, and saying, well, if there isn't going to be money in January and the squad is getting more and more depleted and you can't rely on the players that we've already seen, then we've got to know that a player like Dobbin can come in a position he's playing in and go straight into the side, because that, when you go back to the City game the weekend, they've got players that are playing in a system so that when they go into the first team, there's nothing alien. And actually, it should be easier for them because they're playing with better players. And I just wonder whether that's a clear sign now that those players will be asked to do more. Because I just think that in the past, we've got, well, the level of the under-23s is not great, but we're not making it any easier for them. If players are playing in these weird positions that don't go into the first team.
It makes sense, doesn't it?
Of course.
Makes sense. And if your under-23s are playing 4-4-2 and you're one of the strikers in that 4-4-2 and your first team's playing 4-2-3-1, and then you get put in the first team, you say, go and play wide on the right for us. Well, you're not in that role. You're not used to that role, whatever. But if you're playing the same way, and that's basically our reserve side, isn't it? For want of a better word. Our reserve team. So it should absolutely play, even if you change your managers every year and they play a different style, then the 23s doesn't matter. Results don't matter. So just straight off the bat, you should be saying to them, right, we're playing 3-4-3 in the first team, so that's what you need to play. Because you've got to give these lads a chance that if we're called up, and you're right, it is a case of them looking and going, we're not going to have tons of money. So this season, we're concentrating on loans. We seem to be picking loads of injuries up. We've had a look. You said last week you felt as though Sunday Benitez kind of looked at a couple and just thought, enough's enough. Maybe he has. Maybe he's looked and gone, see all these here who are on our bench, they're not good enough. What kids have we got? Have we got anyone who can leapfrog? Where's Gabamon? Right, he's on the bench. He's the fittest he's been since he's been at the club, because he's been fit most of the season. Right, we're at Man City 3-0 down. nowhere to be seen. Now, I've got no issue with him bringing on Yango, or none whatsoever. But what I mean is we've got a £25 million fella on the bench on, God knows, say he's on 50 grand a week, I don't know what he's on, who's not getting in our team when we're doing anything. When you would have thought they'd try to put him in. See, I think Ancelotti would have played Gabon, would have gone through it and played him like for a few weeks on the run to see if it worked. Where Benitez put him in and went, no, we're not good, you're back out. But for someone like him, I don't understand why he's not playing in R23s. Just to get games under his belt to see whether he can.
No, I agree. I
don't necessarily always think that. Like, I wouldn't be playing Rondon in the 23s for 5 weeks at the expense of like Tom Cannon or something. But someone like Gabon, who's had a lot of injuries, I think I would be playing him just to see if after a couple of games, get him back to the game thing because we need him. But hopefully, because they have gone to this now, if this is all correct, the brand stuff, then hopefully they are looking at that because that's what you want anyway. You want a mix of those two. You want to bring people in, but you always want to have these players. And what it also helps is make decisions on these players. So if you're not good enough at 18, 19, you think you're not going to get in our first team, then how do we package you up and move you on? Rather than you getting to the end of your 2-year contract and walking out the door. So maybe we are going to have to use a few of them players.
But we've got 9 games, is it, between now and the end of December?
So
and we know we're going to have players missing and we're going to have players coming back as well, which you're going to have to can't maybe play every 3 days. So you're gonna need, because what Everton have to see, what you just said there, the likes of Awobi and the likes of Gabon. Personally, I know Awobi comes off the bench because there's not much else there, but he's clearly looked at them and just thought, you're not up to it, either of you. Gabon doesn't seem physically up for it, up to it. He doesn't, and you're right, he probably should get some games in the under-23s just to start maybe elevating him and getting his confidence going. So there's 2 straight away that you're thinking, the manager doesn't really fancy either of them. So you're thinking, well, suddenly, so you're 2 down already, and then you've got 2 on the bench, 2 keepers on the bench. So you're down 4.
Not 3, yeah.
You know, you're down, of your 9. And then what are the rest just people sitting on the bench making up the numbers?
Coaching.
You know, exactly. They're just making up the numbers in the short term. So you've got to have genuine options to come on. And also, I mean, listen, I'm not one of these people who thinks it's like, well, they're doing brilliantly under 23, so let's give them a go. But there are times if a kid's chomping at the bit. Ellis Sims is a really good example. He's just signed a new contract. He's 20. He should be well in that squad now. And I know he went on loan and that really pushed him, I think, further forward. And he's had a bad injury. So fair dues. But surely now at 20 years of age, I mean, you've just signed a new contract, the club should be, well, he's there. He's got to be part of the first team squad. Yeah. He's got to be a first team player. You know, Dobbin maybe he's a little bit different because of the way he plays. He plays off the wing more. But there's going to be opportunity. There's got to be opportunities now because we're running out of place. Yeah. We're running out of players.
I also think this week they've got to go out and show why the footballers. Yeah. We watch Everton too often. These players come in, they don't look like they can play football, and yet you see other clubs. I don't know whether they've got better players. Maybe they have, but I don't think they always have. But what you always get off other teams is those players that come in have that desire to prove people wrong, or
the brave,
the way. And whereas ours just, you look at our team underneath the team, and they just don't look like Premier League footballers. And yeah, they're probably decent players. Do you know what I mean? They come in and they just all melt into the same thing. No one's like, you'd put it this way, right? We don't, very rarely, when you remove our first 12 best players that you'd say, 13, after them, no one really gets in and you're shocked by them going, my God, he had a brilliant game. He's like, he might be an option here. They all come in. And very
few get better by not playing.
No.
In our squad. There's very few where you go.
They do in your mind, because you think sometimes, I'll give him a go.
No, but you know what I mean? There's very few where you go, definitely. I know for some people that really do want to see the likes of Dobbin in the side or in and around the side. I get that. I want to see these kids be on the bench and get an opportunity, come on the pitch.
Great for one of them to take the, like,
That's what I mean, though.
Surprise someone, wouldn't he? Like, take Dobb and score at Brentford or something.
Come on for 15 minutes and everyone go, well, why isn't this lad playing? Or why isn't this lad coming off the bench? And I think there are opportunities now and again, I think, where people will be at the under-23 level and will come into the first team and will shock not only the people, fans, but also the coaches,
at the club,
where they'll go, I didn't think he had that in him, or I didn't
play with better players.
Exactly, or just seizing an opportunity.
Yeah.
And you also get sometimes you also get that bump. You get that bump where actually someone mightn't be as good, but you get like the Danny Cadamati bump.
The enthusiasm.
Where where they're just like, I'm not, like you said before, you've got someone like Rondon who's thinking in his head, I just want to get through this game. I'm just going to get through this game. Not, for an hour I'm going to throw everything at it. Because they physically can't anymore. Whereas someone like him, someone like a Dobbin or a Sims might come in and go, you know what? I'm just gonna have a real good go for the time I'm on the pitch, and I'm gonna try and I'm gonna press that centre back, and I'm gonna force him into mistakes.
Exuberance,
because they don't know me. They don't know if I'm fast or I'm slow or if I'm physical or I'm good in the air or whatever.
You don't settle people.
But now and again, you probably do need a little bit of that just to and that there is. Players for us these kids just seem to sit on the bench, never get a chance, then we move them on, and maybe they don't do anywhere else. But sometimes I think you've got to embolden them. You've got to give them that little bit of the carrot to say, I want to be a Premier League footballer. This is my dream. I'm going to go out and I'm going to show you. And even if it is just pure effort and pure enthusiasm, and the running on pure instinct, it's that thing of like, well, if you would offer any 20-year-old kid an opportunity to play in the Premier League, they'd probably run around like a lunatic for 20 minutes. And you know what? Premier League footballers don't always like that. They don't like people being in the faces. I mean,
ours don't.
No.
Ours really don't.
When how many kids have come on against us and scored their first goal, and it might only be their only ever goal they score, but it's because it's like, ooh.
Yeah. A fella from Southampton, Josh, whatever his name is, you never seen him again. He didn't have a clue who he was, got the winner. You never seen him again. So there is, listen, it's where to go. We've tried everything else and it's not really working. So I'm just wondering.
And also, though, just on that, we're going to need some of these kids over the next month.
I know. Again, it gives boosts to other people, doesn't it? If someone, it can show up other pros as well. They're on running around and you go, hang on, I need to do it because he's doing it. Or the crowd will let you know. It's why some get clapped and others don't. So we're going to Brentford, tough game. They play, let's have a look at how they line up. So they very much do play the 3-5-2. Thomas Frank's got them playing that way. Ivan Toney and Buemo up front are obviously their two danger men. Although Rico Henry scored in his last 2 games, which is as many as he has in about 2 years.
They're a physical side, aren't they? They like putting the ball in the box. You know, why they love like the long throws, the set pieces. They're good at getting a lot of width and getting crosses in from one side to the other. You know, I think we've seen at the weekend one winger crossing and the full back coming in around the back of the post, or the wing back coming in the back of the post. They are physical, and they are the kind of team that don't know when they're beaten.
No.
So they've got that again. They've got that thing. They've come up. They play at home. I know it's not a massive crowd, but it's the kind of crowd because it's on top of you. They make a lot of noise, and they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop with this game. They're going to be all over us, because it's that thing we've just been talking about. Then it's like what they lack in maybe talent, they make up in enthusiasm, and just being that thing that we always talk about, where it's like they've got the right profile of players, and listen, and I know they haven't been on a great run, but they're also the kind of team with their manager where they believe in what they're doing. So they're not winning games just. Some of the, you think about, they got beat by Chelsea 1-0 at home, and they battered them for the last 20 minutes. It's not for the one that's lying, it's just that lack of quality.
They could have been, seeing them against Leicester, they could have been 4-0 up in the first 15 minutes and got beat. Thielemann scored a worldie from nowhere. And, you know, they equalised and then they left the break and Maddison scores. But they should have had that game out of sight in the opening 15 minutes. Okay, Norwich went there and beat them last time out, which was a bit of a flat result. Brighton have beat them this. So they have lost a lot of home games. You've got to, if you put up all of those teams who they've lost to were up for the battle.
I think
Everton are going to have to be up for the
set
battle.
pieces are going to be really big in this because these have that, you know, the real exponents of that, of, you know, the set piece coach and working on it, and they do work really hard on set pieces where they come in from throws and we've got to get. I mean, we've just come off the back of 2 games where luckily we didn't really concede from a set piece, so that hopefully that builds a bit of confidence. But we've got to be right on it from the set pieces because
Mina back.
Yeah,
if Mina's back, it makes a world of difference.
We can't give cheap goals away against these.
Well, we can't because we haven't really got anyone in the team that's scoring the goals. So our goal, if we do score, it's going to be, you know, from Sutton and Josh Townsend shot.
Obviously, a player who scored a lot of goals from last year was linked with us as well, was Ivan Toney.
They're a danger man, definitely, yeah, to have a look at him. Got 12 appearances, 3 goals, 2 assists. He's the top Brentford player. In Ultimate Fan, he's earned 70 points in the Ultimate Fan this season. But yes, last year he got 31 goals, I think it was. Hasn't been as prolific this season in the Premier League, but you know that. It's a different league. But he's still been turning in good performances. Doesn't give you a minute, can drop in the old play, you know. Seeing this at West Ham, it was when he beat West Ham away, and he just dropped into the number 10 and threaded a great little ball through for the first goal. Always on the move. Like you say, doesn't give, you know, he's a player that we've looked, you know, Everton have looked at, and a lot of fans have gone, I'd love him here. Because he's the type of person you want up there, you know, making a nuisance of himself. So he's someone who Everton are going to have to keep an eye on without a shadow of a doubt. Buemo, the other one, is another handful as well. So you've got to really have, you've got your work cut out. You're going to have to go out and not give anything away cheaply. We're going to have to battle and scrap for everything. And that's the way it is. And listen, if we were going there with our full-strength team, then, I'd be thinking, we'll beat these. You know, it'll be a tricky game, but we've got the quality. But we haven't got far from our full-strength team. So the only thing you can do is go and match them battle-wise. These are Premier League footballers, allegedly, in our squad, against the team that have come up and haven't spent money. They do things brilliantly, Brentford. They are the original Moneyball. You know, Mathew Benham's done an incredible job. They've been ticking over for years, getting stronger and stronger. I hope they stay up after Sunday, rather. Wish them the best of luck, apart from Sunday. But we've got to go, and our players who are earning Premier League wages and have been for a while, have got to stand up and be counted. And it's a game of football. Go out and prove your quality.
Roll up your sleeves and stop feeling sorry for yourselves and go out and prove it, and stop, you know, wondering why things continue to go wrong. Because you're not.
Go and be positive. Go and be positive. When you get half a yard, have a shot. Follow Andros Townsend, get shots away. If you're Anthony Gordon, be a little bit sharper, get the shot away. If you're Salomon Rondon,
move a little
bit. Back in, move. It helps. If you get a chance if you move. Standing still, you won't. And really start winning your battles. Every one of them win their individual battle. And if you do that,
that's what it comes down to.
We'll win it.
That's what it simply comes down to. And obviously, it's a very tough week. It's a pivotal week in the Premier League. If Everton can pick up a few points in that week, then suddenly things start looking a little bit more positive.
And you're closer to getting everyone back. Then run of games are out the way, and then you're on the horizon. There's more favourable games what they'll look like. So, but we sat here a year ago, and people were very down going into that December, albeit we had better players available, but people were like getting nothing, and we ended up having a great run. So
just show a little bit, show a little bit of effort, show a little bit of enthusiasm.
Tough game, no, good side we're playing against. So
tough game. Let us know your thoughts in the comments on this one. Obviously, there's a lot of negativity at the moment, but let's infuse a little bit of positivity in it. Who would you like to see? Would you like to see any of those youngsters come in to the side? This team on Sunday could be a meme for the ages, couldn't it? That could be. Remember the Stoke team, which people always go back. Oh, look at the state. Let's see what he does. Let's hope he puts in a couple of players where you go, oh, he is. He's doing a little bit, something a little bit different. Let's hope that happens. And hopefully, let's hope we get the 3 points. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget, to give this video a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you want more great videos, come over and join us on our Patreon channel, where you'll get this video early and you'll get a lot of exclusives and you'll get daily live videos. Check that out. The link is in the description. And also download the Ultimate Fan app. Thanks for watching. See you later.